Madam Deputy Speaker, I'm often inexplicably confused for a member of the Labour Party. I can't think why. I am a Conservative. Yeah. To all intents and purposes, I'm a first-generation immigrant. Born in Wimbledon, yes, but I grew up in Nigeria. I chose to make the United Kingdom my home. Growing up in Nigeria, I saw real poverty. I experienced it. Living without electricity, doing my homework by candlelight because the state electricity board couldn't provide power. Fetching water from a borehole a mile away in heavy, rusty buckets because the nationalised water company couldn't get water out of the taps. Unlike many colleagues born since 1980, I was unlucky enough to live under socialist policies. It is not something I would wish on anyone, and that's just one of the reasons why I am a Conservative. I believe that the state should provide social security, but it must also provide a means for people to lift themselves out of poverty. As a woman of African origin, I also believe that there's a lot that Africa can teach us. Sound money is not just a catchy phrase. The lesson of Zimbabwe is salient for us today. Money cannot be printed, and redistribution cannot be successful without first creating wealth. Edmund Burke said that the society is a contract between the dead, the living, and those yet to be born. I say to colleagues who are wavering on tackling the debt and the deficit, hold your nerve. This is part of that contract that we owe to our descendants. To leave our children carrying the burdens of our debt and excesses is morally wrong. Madam Deputy Speaker, I believe in free markets and free trade. But there is more to conservatism than economic liberalism. Respect for the rule of law, personal responsibility, freedom of speech, of association, and opportunity through meritocracy. These freedoms are being subtly eroded in an era where emotion and feeling is prized above reason and logic. It is these freedoms that I will seek to defend during my time in this House. There are few countries in the world where you can go in one generation from immigrant to parliamentarian. Michael Howard spoke of the British dream, people choosing this country because of its tolerance and its opportunity. It is a land where a girl from Nigeria can move here, age 16, be accepted as British, and have the great honour of representing Saffron Walden. There are some in this country and in this chamber who seek to denigrate the traditions of this Parliament, portraying this House as a bastion of privilege and class that reeks of the establishment, someone said. It is no coincidence that those who seek to undermine the institutions of this family, of this island, Parliament, monarchy, church and family, also propagate a worldview that sees Britain and the values we hold dear as a force for bad in the world. Growing up in Nigeria, the view was rather different. The UK was a beacon, a shining light, a promise of a better life. Often we hear the radical reformer John Bright misquoted, that the House of Commons is the mother of all parliaments. What he actually said was that this country is the mother of all parliaments. Our political institutions may not always be held in high esteem, but I believe that politics is a mirror held up to society. Yes, it can sometimes be unedifying. Yes, we see human weakness on display, but it also embodies much that is great in our country. When I walk down these corridors and stand in this chamber, once graced by my heroes, Winston Churchill, Airey Neave, and Margaret Thatcher, I am filled with nothing but awe, respect, and pride for all that it stands for. As Woody Allen said about sex, if it's not messy, you're not doing it right. Madam Deputy Speaker, the same is true for democracy. It is not always predictable. Its results not always elegant. It can throw up results that no one expected, but we adjust. The British Parliament always has adjusted, and that is why it is the oldest in the world, because it takes its lead from the British people. We live in difficult times and face historic challenges. People are rightly concerned about what Brexit will mean for the country, for their jobs and for their families. But I do not believe that winter is coming. I believe the vote for Brexit was the greatest ever vote of confidence in the project of the United Kingdom. That vision of a global Britain the minister referred to. It is a project that as a young African girl I dreamed about becoming part of. As a British woman, I now have the great honour of delivering that project for my constituents in the greatest parliament on earth.
Yeah.